Okay, I'm sitting here. I'm sitting here, yes.
Please,
Thank
please.
you, thank
Good,
you,
good.
thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome. Thank you for coming along to this session. I'm really, could you not be so noisy over there, please? I'm really pleased to have the opportunity to sit down and conduct this interview with Jin Xing. We've got 30 minutes. What I'd like to do is talk a little bit about her life, a little bit about how she got to where she is now, and maybe we'll get some insights and some ideas about how you see China going forward,
Okay.
societal changes, and so forth. So what I'm going to do is just a very brief introduction into this camera or this camera? This camera?
Yep.
Okay, good. A very warm welcome, everybody, to this CNBC conversation with choreographer, artist, and talk show host Jin Xing. Thank you for being with us at the World Economic Forum in Dalian. So let's go back, if we might, to the very early years. And I want to ask you this question. I'm sure you've been asked this a number of times in the past, but I think for those from an international audience who may be less familiar with your very successful career here in China, can you just tell us how difficult was it growing up in the 1970s in China, identifying as a transgender person?
Well, that's the question. My story been established in many ways. Whole Chinese people in the international know my story. But I grown up in the 70s, that time as a child. I didn't feel so difficult. But I was thinking about myself, how I different from my other playmates, how different is. As a transgender difficulty is until the last 1998. That time I still facing that real challenging. Before that, for me, it's just wondering. It's not challenging. It's a dream for a child. It's a fantasy for a child. I want to be myself. And that time I didn't face any challenging. Then my childhood fully occupied with a certain strong education as a military dancer. So that's why everybody knows that since the age of 9 years old, I was chosen by the government, sending me to the military dance company, training me as a military dancer. And I have a fantastic, very different, very demanding, challenging childhood. And that time I didn't leave so much space to think about myself. I only think about how I can be the great artist. And after I become an adult, I was thinking back to myself, who am I? Can I be the person when I was 6 years old I want to be? As a young boy, that time I want to be a pretty woman, be myself. So that's come back to my agenda, think about it. When this idea come back to my mind, then okay, the challenging started. From the society, from the family, from yourself. In everything, million questions I have to ask. And take me 9 years, since 19 years old until 28, I made a final step to come back to myself, who I am. So that's okay, and the real challenge, I tell you, Jeff. Before that, everything is wondering, thinking. Challenging, when you open the door, come out as a new person, the challenging start. And the big challenging is the invisible, I don't see the enemy, no, invisible power to question you. Do you make the right choice? Why you make such choice? And I have to spending my lifetime to answer such question. So that's it. Then sometimes the word is so weak, so soft, you cannot explain it. Luckily, I'm a dancer. I can have my body language. You can understand my oral words, fine. Come to the seat, I use my body language to tell you why I want to become myself. Why so important for me. That's why I'm a very blessing person. I have a stage for myself. Yeah.
So at that time, I mean, you talked about already at the age of 6, having those thoughts about being a woman or being a girl. Did you at that time feel a real sense of difference from the children around you?
Yes.
And how did you manage that sense of difference? That your identity may not be who you were presented to be at the time?
That time as a child, I was just thinking, first of all, I'm different from my older sister. I have one older sister, 3 years older than me. Then I was thinking, okay, that's her life, I have my life. But I'm happy with my life, but not completely comfortable. But I don't know who designed my life. Of course, my biological parents. But maybe they can also make some mistake as well. And this mistake, I cannot blame my parents. I need to find my power, resource to solve by myself. That's only completely a fantasy. Until when I age reaching 19 years old, I know I can, through the modern technology, I can get back myself. That's it. And no, people thinking I've been through such difficulties, I must have a lot of frustrations. No. When children have a fantasy, everything could be possible. Then I just wait and see what's happening. That's what's amazing about life. Even today, my identity I accomplished. But for my rest of my life, all the target, I'm still have the very positive attitude, wait and see what could happen.
When you told your parents that you felt that you had been born into the wrong body, what was their reaction?
Actually, I can speak for all the mother of this planet. The mother knows their children. Maybe the father talk less, but the woman knows. Your children is heterosexual, whatever, all kind of sexuality, the parents knows. We just don't want to talk about it. Let it be, just like a Beatles singing, let it be. What could happen? Yeah. So I think when I talk to my mom, I think help my mother to overcome such an issue is love. All the parents want their children be happy. If this make me happy, it's my life, why not? And my father was, of course, very conservative Chinese military officer. For him, it's an issue, but not so big. He also wants me to happy. And he also very happy. I find myself in a very mature age. 28, you make your choice, get back what you want. Why not? Congratulations. That's why in this issue, I'm very blessed. I have such fully support. And I often joking about that. I'm fully respect the copyright. Before I changing this, art creation, I need the original creators, my father and my mother. If they have no problem, I changing a little bit. Why not? Why I should worry about other societies' response? I respect all the society's response, but I still mainly respect is my parents. If they have no problem, I'm the most happy person in the world.
As you were making this transition, can you share with us the obstacles that you faced along the way? And was there ever a moment where you felt like I should just give up and accept that I've been born into the wrong body and I'll just make the most of that?
No, I don't know previous life who I am, or next life what I can become. But I know this life, I must be enjoyed much I can. Then if I can use my personal power, can changing something, even make it better, why not? I think this is such an idea for all the people in this planet. Everybody wants to improve their life in a better way. I just want to improve my life in a better way. They're, of course, facing a big challenge. Luckily, my education, from physical or mentally, training me become a very strong person, so helps me to overcome many, many issues. Why not? Even today, I'm become 50 years old. I'm have a full of curiosity about the world. So many things I didn't know. I still want to face the challenge. I'm daring to take the challenge. So that's my.
But people view the Chinese society as very conservative.
Yeah.
Even now, acceptance, it would seem, of the LGBT community is relatively low.
Yeah.
When you faced the hurdles towards your reassignment surgery, how did you persuade the authorities and the doctors and others that they should be allowed, they should get involved with you, you should be allowed to make that happen?
I think that's amazing about the Chinese culture, and Chinese idea of life. So many things. That's different from China and the Western. A lot of issues in history in the modern time are Chinese. We don't want to talk about it. Let it be. Something could be happening, developing, something could be just, bear themselves. For my case, I always believe in time. You cannot convince everybody in a short time, but give yourself time, give them time, then you convince them. Imagine become myself, become a woman is myself. Only the question, only the gift I asking for this life, which was I got this gift from life. Become a mother, become a wife is an extra gift from life. Then become a TV host, have such a big influential in Chinese society. I never think about it. That's why I think you just believe yourself. Time will explain everything. And then also this is according to my background. I'm the person from age of 4, I always on the stage, performing, delivering, sharing. This never new for me. I just have a different stage providing. When the stage ready, I can be very good. If you have the beautiful stage, ask me to become a professional economist, I can do a good job. If one day ask me to become a president, I do the good job too. So if the stage is ready, I do the deliver best performance. If you don't like my performance, the curtain is closed. Then that's it. You have nothing, just follow the time. I think that's why Chinese culture, well, this country can go become today, the powerful is people's heart. We believe time will explain everything.
How big do you think the transgender community is in China?
Not
and do you
everything.
think it's hiding in the shadows still? I mean, despite your lead and the fact that you've achieved what you've achieved through strength of personality, do you think there's still a community out there that is hiding, that is in some way confused and maybe feeling strange thoughts of shame and frustration? Because officially here in China, maybe identifying as transgender or LGBT is not widely accepted.
Yeah, combine this question I back to you. Look, the European society. Take how many years the LGBT, the group, the homosexual marriage, everything approved by the society. That takes time. That's why when I come out as a first public transgender in this society, people all asking me different group asking me represent them. I said I don't have to represent each group. I just be myself. That's already big statement. And I think that in China, our country, our history is so long, so big. I think everything takes time. And that's why I always use the word time will be explain everything. Let it be, let it existing. And from our ancient culture, LGBT, this group, already existing is nothing new for Chinese culture. So that's before we don't talk about. That's why I do have a little bit of criticism about the Western culture influence China. Before the Chinese country opened to the Western world, so certain things we don't talk about it. But after country communicates with the world, European, Western people love to labelize everything, gay, homosexual, lesbian, transgender, everything labelized, make people life much more sensitive, alert. 25 years ago, if you see in China, 2 boys holding on hands, walk on the street, people treat them very normal. They are maybe just a good friend. But now, if 2 boys holding on the hand on the street, my God, they are gay, the society become oversensitive. Who give that? You guys.
Well,
we are so easy to take the issues, but you guys love to labelize.
Yes.
Every defending everything. In life, something cannot so clear.
Yes.
You know, they were clear like a fog. Sometimes I have clear weather, sometimes a very foggy day, but take it. But, that's why we're dealing, we have a different dialogue. So that's why in Chinese, we need a strong belief you have to right to, be the respect, equal respect. But sometimes different area, different part of people, you need to give yourself confidence. That's it.
Well, I'm not going to take personal responsibility for everything that
No, absolutely not.
the West does. But I will ask you this. Look, you have lived in the United States
Yes.
and worked in the United States.
Yes.
You've lived in Europe
Yes.
and Italy, and you've had the opportunity to actually just run away from China and live in communities where, even though there may be a label, actually there's a very liberal live and let live ethos.
Yeah.
Why come back to China? Why come back to face the dragon when you could have stayed away and you could have had a wonderful life in America or in Europe?
Maybe not. I will see. I'm a very superstitious person. I believe this life I born as a Chinese, this land have such a strong feeling and blessing to me. Even sometimes it's a tough moment, fine. Next life I become a European, become Africa, I don't know. But this life I'm become Chinese. And somehow, just like before I said, I'm the person, I love facing the challenging. And I love to see this country changing in the different directions. And also, I know one day I'm a stage person. I have many, many productions waiting for me to performance. So that's why for me, keep the Chinese nationality is very important. 3 years ago, when I launched my talk show, was a top talk show in China, very straightforward, talk to people. Our public was wondering, oh, Jin Xing may be married to a German, have a European passport. I said, no, I don't even have any green card. I'm just Chinese passport holder because I want my words, my voice to be strong. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not just babbling nonsense. If something happens, I'm escape. I'm not that kind of Chinese. This Chinese, stick with my country. Let's see. We're facing the challenging, we're facing the glory, and let's witness the changing. Then I know that's my words is powerful. I have my frustration, I have my struggle, fine, that's part of our life. So let's facing it. That's why I think I'm very committed this life as a Chinese, still Chinese. Next life, I don't know.
Let's talk a little bit about how you see China.
Yeah.
Because you've had the opportunity to live abroad and
Yes.
live in other cultures.
Yeah.
There is some criticism leveled at the rapid economic growth that
Yeah.
China has seen, that the government has behaved in ways that sometimes ignores the sensitivities of small communities. Villages are steamrolled to make highways and railways. And also the rapid accumulation of wealth has made people uncaring. And you hear stories of people being unpleasant to each other for the sake of monetary reward.
Yeah.
Is that a China that you recognize? And if so, how does it get better?
You know, running a country, just running a big family. Family have many, many child. Which section make this family become, right direction? The parents, the government have to make choices. I think our government doing a very good job in the infrastructure to develop in this country and give the international stage award to confidence. China, this is such a big country heading a right direction. Same time, we have a lot of issues we need to taken care of. Sometimes maybe less taken care of, but it take time. Why? Why the government have such confidence? Because the Chinese people, the Chinese culture. Chinese people have one beautiful quality is we always believe tomorrow is better. So that's why we have such confidence, we're going together. Many, many things. When the country changing from economic sense, you want to be, you have to sacrifice, compromise many, many things. But how to get back them, that's the smartness of government, how to running this country, how to dealing with strategies. That's very important. I think we're heading a right direction. You can see 20 years ago and now, the confidence of Chinese today in the international stage is completely different. Of course, this is always both ways. You have a positive side or have a negative side, but how do you think that everybody have different opinions? And for me, very exciting to see the changing. Yeah, you cannot say everything's bravo or beautiful. No, we do have to clear ourselves. Which part we did not good job, we could do better. So yeah.
Donald Trump seems to be worried about this renewed Chinese confidence. Many countries overseas are worried that China's coming to buy everything, or the Chinese tourists are coming to fill the shops and crowd the streets. What would you say to those people who are worried about a newly emboldened China?
I think people are worried about China is start to thinking about themselves, less confidence. Come on, look at this way. Whole world is shaking this moment, whatever from political situation, economic situation, European, North American, whatever, everything. At least one continent, one country gives you confidence, stabilize. You can, depending on, still have a huge market looking for people to working together. So that's, why not? If the whole planet, the whole world is shaking, I think everybody lost the confidence. Time, everybody play different role. Now it's a China time. And people, of course, not used to it. That's also also quite egocentric of the European thinking. American leading the economic situation or European leading, come on, game over, it's now us. Let me leading a little bit. I follow you game for 20 half centuries, now follow my rule a little bit. But our Chinese not aggressive. We are still kind, okay, join our games. So with the President Donald Trump, he have his agenda. Fine, we have our agenda. Let's dealing with it. Don't forget, the best businessman in this world is a Chinese and Jewish. That's it.
Well, if China's number one, can Great Britain be number two? Is that okay?
Depending how we're dealing with, how we talk about it, how we go through the conversations.
Yeah. You have recently launched a dating show. It's a matchmaking show here in China.
Very successful.
Of course. And what's interesting about it is you bring the parents into the dating show. And this is something that is almost unheard of, I think, in this kind of format. Why bring the parents into the situation? You're just going to cause trouble. Surely, when it comes to selecting the right boy or girl.
No. That's a very, very narrative understanding of a European thing, Chinese marriage. We're often thinking about the great love. Young people fall in love together, getting married. That's a beautiful story on the movies, on the TV, on the book. But the reality is that marriage is according to family issue. You can easily fall in love. When according to marriage, it's a family talk. That's very strongly in China, I think also in India, these massive two countries. So I bring up this Chinese dating show, bring the parents to looking for their future, whatever, daughter-in-law or son-in-law. That gives a clear idea what's Chinese people thinking. On the surface, it's Chinese dating, looking for boyfriend, husband, or wife. But underneath, I want to send in the message, what's the value system of Chinese family? What's the real marriage about? And at the end of the day, come on, be committed. In Europe also, at the end of the day, after 5-10 years marriage, it's a two-family issue. You cannot deny these things. Of course, always start with two young people fall in love, beautiful, everything. But clearly, married, after that is a family. So that's why very significant. I think also this country become today, the value system basically also on the family issue. If the family is stable, if the family is happy, the country is fine. I think that's why the main core of my Chinese dating show, I want to send in the message. When the young people, you think about the creative family, build up a family, think about one day you will become a parent, your daughter, your son will be looking for the future family as well. Double think about it. That's why I'm launching this show.
But you don't see any conflict in those two ideas that you, as someone who is married to a German, a foreigner, who's undergone sex reassignment, is transgender, very different from what many Chinese parents would find acceptable, are bringing parents into a matchmaking situation. That's very conservative.
No, actually, I can talk about like this. I talked about that. Before I married to my husband, I was looking for a Chinese husband. But my story is too heavy for each of Chinese men. Because when the Chinese man married to a woman, it's not just married to a woman, they married to a society. You know, I have many good lovers. I have a very intimate talking with a Chinese man. We're talking about the Chinese cultural history. Such a conversation which never happened with my German husband. But marriage is another thing. That's why the cultural difference also, I have to think in double thinking. I'm not just myself to marry to a German man. I'm a 3 children's mother. I have 3 child. I need to think in that stabilized family. That's why for Western, for my husband, it's much easier to deal. I asked my husband, do you mind my story? My husband said a beautiful sentence. He said, everybody have a past. Maybe your past is different, but we are holding hands together, go to the front, go to the future. Why should you care too much? It works well. So that's why I think marriage is very important. Also, next life, if I born a Chinese, as a woman, I will marry to a Chinese man.
So let me ask you, how would you feel about your 3 children marrying foreigners?
Fine. If I'm the person looking for such a freedom for myself, I have no judgment for my children. Whatever they're looking for job, looking for the marriage, relationship, looking for the country they want to live, I give them full of freedom. But I just let them know, wherever you go, don't forget your identity. This life you're born as a Chinese. You must be writing or speaking Mandarin properly. Then you can make your choices. That's it. That's only my request as a parent. Everything's let it be, let them free.
We've talked a lot about social and economic freedoms here in China. Can they really happen without political freedom at some point?
You bring a very sensitive questions. You ask a dancer and answer such questions. Well, I think politics is very, no matter in which area, doesn't matter with economic, art, whole world, you cannot without the politics. Everybody playing the politics in different ways. I think how you dealing with that, how the politics influence your ideas, how the politics give people confidence, that's another level. I think that's where smart people can judge me and choosing what kind of politics you prefer, what kind of politician performance well. I think that's another stage. That's all not only for China, for all, we are Chinese also looking. Just like I interviewed Brad Pitt, the Hollywood star.
Yes.
I asked him, that time just Donald Trump got selected. Then I said, bravo, you select a wonderful president. Then Brad Pitt said, oh, like Americans say, everybody can be the president, we did it. So I think, yeah, we always see each other, so looking for each other and get the ideas, looking other people's story, just like a mirror, and reflecting what you're thinking. I think now the whole world are looking for China. This mirror reflecting so many aspects, then make you thinking, make you doubting, thinking what's happening with ourselves. Same thing. We are helping each other, we influence each other, we are taking the part of each other, we're picking up each other. That's always happening.
You've already had a remarkable life. I think everybody would acknowledge that. Do you think there's room in that remarkable life for a political career for you?
I don't know. I prepare myself for all kind of stage, all kind of. I'm a performer. Then I know, I'm a character. I'm a lion. I born on 13th of August. The character is ready to performance. That's before the stage is ready. Only things I can ask myself is just be prepared. When the day the stage is ready, the curtain open, voila, Jin Xing, do your best.
Who would vote for Jin Xing if she was to run for political office? Oh, that's not a big vote of confidence. Come on. Well, I think you've got about a third of the room there. There are still some people who are doubting, so you might have to work a little bit harder on the hustings.
Yes.
But never mind, I think you had a good showing of hands there. Look, I am also on the stage in a way.
Yes.
I'm a presenter of a business program in Europe. So I think it would be nice maybe for my audience if I asked you a few questions about what you do with your money. Do you buy shares in China? Can you give us some stock tips for our audience?
Well, I'm not kind of expert how to manage money. This job leave to my husband. The European much more clear with that. I just know we are happy what we have, that's enough. But frankly, I talk to all the Chinese people know that I don't have any I didn't buy any apartment house in China. I'm still renting my apartment with my whole family. Yeah. I think then that's the idea. I only invest maybe my children's education and the whole family, the international health insurance, and some small property in Europe. European, because half of my life is in Europe. My husband is in Europe, respect that. That's it. Then I think I'm not living for money. Money must be working for me. That's why I always tell the young people. I can give you one example. When I was 33 years old, from Beijing, moved to Shanghai with my suitcase. That time, I earned also a lot of quite money. But the money I spending touring, traveling internationally, whole world, see the world. Now I tell the young people, so don't lock yourself too early. If you earn some money, spend it on the road and see the world, then you have a better idea, better understanding what kind of life you want to have. But there's so much young people for the security reason, very young age, want to buy the house, buy the car, and lock themselves in the small city, whatever. Maybe in the future they want to change, but they are difficult to change. That's very pity. So that's why I tell the young people, before you settle down yourself, go, walk. So Chinese have a sentence, I don't know how to translate in English, maybe translate can, 人挪活，树挪死.
So like how the Chinese would say, the people would have to move to survive.
Human being is different. You need to move. So that's why my money spending, personal hobby, I don't wear diamonds. I only have my beautiful dress and my shoes. That's it.
What's next for you? You've got a successful dance company.
Yeah.
You've got a talk show program. You do your dating program. Give us an insight into your ambition. What comes next?
I don't know. People ask me all the questions. I always answer, my life just started. I have a full of curiosity. I don't know what's next come to me. Whatever good or bad, whatever unpleasant or come to, I take it. That's the great things about life. You experience it. And at the end of the day, you when you say goodbye to the world, to this life, then you say, I've done so many things. I'm not regretted. I don't want to come back human being life anymore. So that's why I want to experience everything. So I don't know. I'm ready. People think that you're super successful. You are not ready. I said, no. I'm still waiting for the curtain open. What is the next stage for me? Yeah.
Clearly, when we came in here, we were mobbed. There are a lot of people who wanted to take
I appreciate
your photograph.
that. I appreciate people like
I
me.
can try and fool myself that they were trying to get a shot of me, but somehow I think that wasn't actually the case. So you are someone that a lot of people look up to. Your talk show gets, what,
150 million.
150 million.
Yes.
More than I could ever imagine tuning into my program.
That's the power of China. Don't compete.
That is the power of China.
Yes.
Fair enough. So let me ask you, just as we wrap up here, share with us whatever it is that personal dynamo is that keeps you going, that keeps you strong. The audience that tunes into you obviously sees something that they like, and they see something they want to emulate or be inspired by. If you could give us a final thought as we wrap up here, what should people take away from you to inspire them to do great things in their own lives?
Okay. If you ask me why I have such a strong stream, to go forward to do so many things, the reason is very simple. And get back the first question asking me, the struggle. I choose very different life routes. This doesn't exist normally in the society. I've been proved myself. It will be end of the day to my death, in the last day of my life, I have improved myself. I made the right choices. Then I have better working hard. More than just, if you choose a different way, you better pay for it. And now I have 3 children as mother. The society sometimes nice, it sometimes could be very crucial, very cruel. I want to have a protection for my children. One day they grown up, when they talk to their mother, oh, your mother was a transgender, and this doesn't hit my children. As a mother, I want to protect my son. One day people, society criticize my children, and my children will be proud of say, my mother is a Jin Xing, we are proud of her. For that word, I'm working hard. Reason is very simple. This society is very cruel sometimes. They can use the word killing my innocent children, whatever. But I don't give them the chance. Only I don't give them chance. I have to working hard for myself, be a strong, be a good performance, deliver best I can do. When I left the world one day, my children, they're proud of they have such a mother in their life. That's it. That's the reason.
Jin Xing, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much for giving us 30 minutes of your time. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in to this CNBC program.
Thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank
you, Jeff. Thank you.